And we are back here on Public Affairs on Peach, and we are talking taxes with Mark Green of the IRS about the upcoming tax deadline of not April 15th, but the 18th by midnight, right?
That's correct.
All right, this segment we want to talk to you about what to do if your taxes are too complicated to prepare yourself. It seems like each year taxes get longer, more complicated, and it's tough for people who don't do this every day as a living to understand even what W-2s are, all the other things that are going on.
Right.
How do we, as consumers, simplify this to a point where we're able to do it ourselves?
Well, the Internal Revenue Service is giving individuals options. And the good news about the options that we have is they are free options. So if you're in a situation where you need to file your return, look at our website first at irs.gov. We have a number of free options for individuals who make less than $62,000. You can prepare your return yourself for free, absolutely positively free, no strings attached. There's brand software on it that you will see in the commercial venue. The good news about this is it's user-friendly. It's a step-by-step process.
So hold on. If you make under $62,000, you can use the TurboTax type stuff through the government for free.
For absolutely
I don't
free.
think anybody knew that. Okay.
No
What do you have
string-
to do to get that?
Well, just visit our website at irs.gov, click on Free File. Once you click on Free File, it will take you through the process. It's a step-by-step, user-friendly process. The good news is that not only will we prepare your return, but we also electronically file it and directly deposit it into your checking or savings account. Therefore, you can get your refund back in as little as 21 days.
And if there's an issue, you could just blame the tax preparer.
Well,
Which is the IRS. I'm just kidding.
Well, the second option is that you can also visit one of our volunteer income tax assistance sites.
Okay, what's that?
This is the volunteer income tax assistance sites that's
In Atlanta, you can do this?
in the whole state, in the whole nation.
Okay.
But here in Georgia, of course, the good news is just visit our website to find out what the nearest one is. What we would do is sit down, prepare your returns for you, and we meet in off hours in locations such as libraries, churches, civic groups, shopping malls, you name it. And I've been part of this for 29 years, and this is a way of giving back to the community. These are volunteers who are trained, who can assist taxpayers on their tax returns, prepare the returns, file it electronically, and answer those questions that they may have.
Is there an income threshold for that as well?
It's $54,000.
$54,000, okay.
The good news about this is that if you have questions, it doesn't matter what the amount of money you make per se. If we can answer the question, we will direct you to the source. So there's many options out here for taxpayers if they choose to prepare it themselves for free. On the other hand, you can also pay someone. And if you are going to choose a paid preparer, we strongly recommend you choose very wisely. Choose someone who is credible, knowledgeable, accountable, and most importantly, make sure that he or she has a preparer tax identification number. That means that he or she has registered with the Internal Revenue Service. Better yet, visit our website at irs.gov. We have a list of qualified preparers on there who are qualified. It makes it make your life easy, if you will. And that way you can choose someone who you know that has qualifications and have registered with the Internal Revenue Service.
And you get it from all sides when you're a taxpayer. I know when I moved into my new home, I started getting mail just about right away from about 20 different accountants in town, or so-called accountants, saying they'd like to prepare my taxes, and here's free. And maybe some of them are legit.
Right.
Maybe they're not.
Right. Unfortunately, we have a lot of bad preparers. We have some good ones, and the bad ones cast a black eye, so to speak, on the whole taxpayer community.
What makes a bad preparer versus a good one?
Well, we have generally, those bad preparers are the ones you find with the long lines, word of mouth. You got to be really cautious when you choose one. Those individuals, you go into their establishment and they tell you they can get you the best, largest refund ever without even looking at your W-2s. They'll use your last paycheck stubs. They will inflate your taxes, including dependents on it that you don't have or expenses that you know you don't have. These are individuals who are out just to gain you into their establishment to get as much money out of you as possible, and at the same time inflate the refund big enough to get a percentage of it for themselves. In some cases, they would tell you that you actually made having a refund at this amount, when in our reality you have a larger refund which they would keep for themselves.
Now, what kind of prices should people be paying? I mean, unless they have uber complicated, but just generic kids mortgage.
Yeah, well, it's kind of difficult to answer. You know, it depends on the complexity of the tax return and the comfortability of the taxpayer and the trustworthy of the CPA tax practitioner or preparer. So I will always say, you know, visit us first, and you can do this yourself. Trust me. I say this, I've said this for many years, and we started out in 1989 here in Georgia with 300 electronic file returns. Most folks in the media, believe it or not, say, hey, I will never touch that because it's not going to work.
Right.
It's a big black hole.
Yep.
Well, look, we're up to 4.1 million returns already
That's
here
impressive.
in Georgia. So that says a lot. 150 million taxpayers nationwide. We expect half of them to be maybe, possibly using a tax preparer, but if they are going to use one, we definitely encourage them to choose very wisely.
And real briefly, I just want to mention, I actually got a call from someone claiming to be IRS, saying that we owed money and that they're going to file a lawsuit, that the, quote, IRS is going to file a lawsuit against us.
No.
You guys will never call over the phone, is that right?
Our first point of contact is by mail.
Right.
And there's a possibility you may get a follow-up phone call afterwards. But here in Georgia, unfortunately, Georgia's ranked number 12 with these scams, these telephone scams that you're speaking of. Over 700,000 that we know about has been lost to scam artists, 29 million in the nation. So as we speak, there's a scam taking place, and unfortunately, those scam artists are using their mindless criminal behavior to influence individuals to pay them their hard-earned money. So be very cautious. Hang up if you get one of these calls.
All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning, dispelling myths, telling us all about how you got into the IRS as well. And now that we have chosen a tax preparer, we'll be back with the actual person that files the returns.